significant. Let's just take the first parking position over here. Yeah, just off to the right hand side, like that. Alright, and here we are. So, let's go for the shutdown checklist. And again, this is a simple read and do checklist. So, thrust levers idle, emergency parking brake apply, windshield heat switches off, ADS probe knob auto, so that one remains on, respectively on auto. Engine 1 and 2 switches off, that's the ice protection, that's not the shutdown yet. Wing stabilizer switch off, off. Now start stop knobs, stop. This is where you shut down the engines.
Runway awareness. Okay. Feet.
And then we got MFD status page check. So let's just bring the cursor over here. And aircraft systems status. Over here you're basically looking at everything being fine. So still sufficient oxygen. You check the brake pressure that you have over there. You check the battery voltages, that type of stuff. And then fasten seatbelt signs off. Like this, and that's the shutdown checklist complete. So let's go ahead and secure the aircraft straight away as well. So leaving airplane checklist, IFE refreshment switch off down here. Then you got oxygen bottle valve cutout, so you pull that one up. Emergency light switch off, off. Also put the strobe lights off at this point once the engines are securely shut down. And then battery 1 and 2 off, like this. Okay, and that's it. Note that you leave all the switches that we turned on in the pre-flight. You simply leave them on, respectively on auto. And that's it. With that, welcome to Montreal, and that's the completion of our tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. If you do have any questions, then do put them there. I'm going to produce an art of approach tutorial very soon. But that's it for our flight, so thank you very much, everyone. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to my current favorite very light jet in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. The Honda Jet has just received a free upgrade into the new simulator, adding a lot of things like a brand new model, especially on the interior, as well as an electronic flight bag, and of course it still contains all of the lovely features we got to love in our Honda from the past. I'm really looking forward to flying this one, and we are going to take it from Nice, Côte d'Azur over to Birmingham, which is going to be a quick 2-hour and 20-minute flight in flight level 430. Alright, I'd say without any further ado, we are going to do the walk around, taking all those covers and FS24 specific features away over here. Also going to take the chocks at this point already, and then we can collect the engine covers. Get a quick overview of our aircraft, as it has been parked here for a couple of days while our clients have been at the yacht harbor and doing business here in Nice, and now we are going to bring him back to the UK. So, that walk around is looking good, our aircraft is in a good shape. Let's go ahead and open that door, and then we are going to get inside. Now, beautiful new cabin model. We are just going to have a quick look here, making sure that everything is in good condition for when our guests are going to arrive. Also making sure that the tables have been cleaned, which they have. Everything looking good over here, and also on this side over here. Now, lastly, a quick look into our bathroom. And again, the Honda Jet is the only very light jet that actually has a dedicated bathroom available. In all the other very light jets, you would be folding a seat up, then you could be shitting in front of your business partners. Well, I'll leave that for everyone to decide if you want to do that, or if you prefer the comfort of the Honda. Alright, so let's take a seat in the cockpit of our Honda Jet, and then we can start with a bit of a setup down here. Now, before we do any of that though, let's go ahead and have a very quick look into our flight plan to determine the amount of fuel that we are going to carry. So starting right down here, this is going to be our route departing Nice, and then we're more or less flying in a straight line all the way over to Birmingham. The significant weather chart shows us a couple areas over here, especially on the departure. We're looking at moderate turbulence up to flight level 400, which is also the reason why I've planned the cruise up in level 430, where we should be out of any of that turbulence. Now, heading over, we got some moderate icing on our way down into Birmingham, but apart from that, it's looking quite good. For the airport weather, we got westerly winds in Nice with runway 22 left being our expected departure runway. Clear skies, 17 degrees. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as nice over in Birmingham, where it's cloudy, where it's cold, and where it is likely to get pretty windy during the day. We'll see about that. If the weather becomes too bad, we might be diverting, and for that, Manchester is the planned alternate with a Prop 30 tempo weather down there. So not all that good. Apart from that, we also have Stansted planned, which also has that weather, but a bit later, so Stansted should be fine by the time that we are arriving. Now, let's go ahead and see what that is going to do to our fuel plan. An on-time departure at 10:35 is going to result in an on-time arrival in Birmingham. We are 300 freedom units shy of the maximum takeoff weight, which is something we gotta take into consideration today. And now looking into the plan, Stansted needs an additional 121 pounds of fuel, so we are definitely going to take that. So I'd say we just loaded right up to the maximum takeoff weight, getting us to somewhere around 2,500 pounds of gas, and then we'll just see what the load sheet is going to say from there on. So let's go ahead and have a look into the weights and services over here. We've got 4 passengers, which we are going to load in the aircraft. Like this. Also, I do want a bit of that cargo in the back over there, bringing ourselves nicely into the CG envelope. For the fuel then, let's go ahead and just bring it right up to the maximum gross weight. And here we go. That's 2,450 pounds of fuel. So with that, we are just about legal for that flight. Overall, looking good though. So let's just go over to the ground services and get ourselves a ground power unit over here, so that we got electrical power, and then we can go ahead and get going on setting our airplane up. So let's turn that battery on. I just love the simplicity of the Honda flight deck. There's really just a couple units down there and up here, and that's it already. Now let's go ahead and switch that thing on. Everything starts initializing. I like it. We can already switch the standby horizon to hectopascals down here. And then let's start having a look into our setup. So what I'm going to do is we will open up that... we will open up those checklists over here. You can operate the checklist using the thumb wheel down there, or you can assign those to your control column, which is what I've done. So let's go ahead and go over it. Before starting engine checklist, battery on, oxygen checked on and normal, pressurization normal, electrical on, and let's turn that external power on as well, on and normal, ELT normal, nose wheel steering, that's down here, is normal. Landing gear, I really don't know why it loads with the gear switch up, but here we go. Landing gear down, alternate gear handle in, park and brake set, flaps up, and thrust levers cut off, speed brake retracted, ice protection normal and off, fuel panel normal, trim panel checked, set and normal, windshield panel normal, pneumatic panel down here is normal, glass shield panel dark, chime normal, and avionic initialization is going to be started now. So let's go ahead and start on the utilities initialization, system tests, pre-flight. So it's just going to do those all automatically. Left engine fire test, right engine fire test, then comes the stick shaker, this side and on that side, and now it's going to do the light test, which is all looking fantastic. Alright, so that thing is done. Then let's move on into the weight and fuel. So crew and stores, 180 pounds is looking good. Then we got the payload, 4 passengers plus 200 pounds of cargo. For the takeoff, fuel on board is 2,450 pounds. Like this, and then for the landing, let's see, 30 minutes holding time looks correct. Holding basically is final reserve, and then fuel reserves is our alternate fuel in this one. So let's find that in the plan, 307. Like that, and with that we are looking good. So weight and balances are initialized. We'll do the speed bugs a little bit later on. Just get them from the sim, turn them all on, thank you very much, and with that our initialization is completed, so we can accept that. Now let's go into the flight plan and start programming all of that. We are departing Lima Fox Mike November, and our sit is going to be from runway, not 04, what are you doing? Probably have to find that departure first. Barot 7 Zulu departure, runway 22 left, load, like this, and then direct Nedu. By the way, yes, I am aware that you can actually download the entire flight plan from SimBrief as well. However, I'm gonna say that in the real world you would not really be doing that on an airplane like this. Like, you just wouldn't have data link. So for that reason I kind of prefer to type these things in manually down here as well, as it's just a little bit more realistic. And in case you're wondering why you wouldn't have data link on an airplane like this, well, just keep in mind there just always has to be an opposite part as well. Like, there needs to be a server somewhere, and for a business jet operator, is that worth it? Too expensive, especially if you simply have, if you can simply type that stuff in yourself as well. After all, this only takes a minute or two. Okay, Bravo, Romeo, Yankee, and that's going to be Blaise Ulcin in France. Then we got Charlie Lima Mike. What some operators do, by the way, if they really just want to hurry it, is that they don't even enter the entire flight plan on the ground, but simply enter like the first couple of waypoints that you could realistically expect to fly to, and then they just enter the rest when they're in the air. So you can always do that if you want to save yourself some time. I just want to get the entire thing in here because, okay, Dima, that's because it's Dima. Okay, that's entered. Then we got Aliso. And then Tango 420 to Hamel. So from here, load airway, Tango 420.
Beyond ATC connected.
Leads us to Hamel. Alright, load that airway, thank you very much. And at destination, Echo Golf Bravo Bravo Birmingham. Okay, for Birmingham, let's go ahead and load the arrival as well. Hamel 1 Bravo arrival. And that's down here, runway 15 at the moment, load. And for the approaches, we will pick the ILS to runway 15, including radar vectors, which we can load as well. Okay, lovely. So that stuff is now down here. Then let's go and have a look into the VNAV page. VNAV is enabled, FMS speed 190 is alright. So for the climb, we will do a maximum rate climb at 210 knots and Mach 0.57, transition altitude 5000. Speed 250 below 10,000 and maximum 200 below 2,500 within 4 miles of the airport. Looks good. For the cruise, we'll do maximum cruise to 70.72. That looks good, and we'll set the descent up when we get closer to the descent later on. Alright, so far so good. Then let's do our airport charts. For that, let's get the chart options, and we will be using Navigraph charts here, but as you can see, we also got the option for FAA charts as well as Lido charts. Now, for business jet operation, Jeppesen is the most realistic, or rather the most likely to be encountered. I'm sure that you will find one business jet operator doing otherwise. Okay, so now let's move the controller over here. We do want charts, and then for these we got the radar minimum chart over here. The one thing that's currently not working, unfortunately, is the ground charts. I'm not sure what it is that it doesn't have those in here, but there must be a bug somewhere in the Navigraph modules, which means if we do want ground charts, currently we do have to switch over to the Lido charts. Now, have a look at this airport diagram, there it is, and you can give me that thing in full screen, please. Okay, so let's see, delivery is on 121.78, that's 121.780, which we can set active, and then ground will be 121.705. Like that. Now we need the ATIS on, can't actually read that. Let's see, ATIS 136580. So switch that active and then 121.5. Alright, so far so good. Let's go ahead and listen to that ATIS and see what we are going to be up to. 136.580. That should be the correct frequency. Interestingly enough, the Say Intentions app tells me that according to the database, it should be 129.605. Huh. Well, no comment.
Altitude and traffic service.
That works.
Short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Sierra.
Key West Airport information mic, 1516 Zulu, wind 110 at 10. Visibility 10, scattered at 2100, scattered at 2600, scattered at 3200, temperature 28, dew point 24, altimeter tree 004, landing and departing runway 09er. Temporary flight restrictions are in effect for Key West. Advise on initial contact. You have information mic.
Traffic services requested. Leave Bengal runway. Hold short instructions.
Key West Airport information mic, 1516 Zulu, wind 110 at 10.
Sierra is on board.
Visibility 10, scattered at 2100, scattered at 2000.
Then we do all the reset up. East delivery, November 420 Hotel Echo information.
Key West clearance, November 51 Alpha Papa. Ramp 50. Request IFR clearance to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport with information mic.
November 51 Alpha Papa, Key West clearance, cleared to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport. Radar vectors Carnu then is filed. Maintain 4,000. Expect 7,000 feet. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 24025. Squawk 0514.
Cleared to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport. Radar vectors Carnu then as filed. Maintain 4,000. Expect 7,000 feet. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 24025. Squawk 0514. November 51 Alpha Papa.
November 51 Alpha Papa, readback correct. Contact Tower 118.2 when ready for start or taxi.
Will contact Tower 118.2 when ready for start or taxi. November 51 Alpha Papa. Thanks. November 51 Alpha Papa, holding short, runway 9er.
November 51 Alpha Papa, Key West Tower, wind 110 at 10, fly runway heading, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Fly runway heading, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff, November 51 Alpha Papa.
Key West Tower, Brickyard 540, visual runway 9er.
Brickyard 540, Key West Tower, continue.
Roger, Brickyard 540.
November 51 Alpha Papa, ready to taxi to the active.
November 51 Alpha Papa, runway 9er, taxi via Alpha.
All right, we'll taxi to runway 9er via Alpha, November 51 Alpha Papa.
Brickyard 540, go around. Fly runway heading, maintain 4,000 feet.
Going around. Fly runway heading, maintain 4,000 feet, Brickyard 540.
Brickyard 540, contact Navy Key West approach 124.025. Talk to you in a minute.
Contact Navy Key West approach 124.025, Brickyard 540. Talk to you in a minute.
Good speed 435 at ramp 5 tree. Request pushback and engine start.
Good speed 435. Key West Tower. Pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
Pushback approved. Face west. Good speed 435.
Approaching 09. On runway 09.
Good speed 435. Request taxi.
Good speed 435. Runway 9er taxi via Bravo 7 Alpha.
Runway 9er taxi via Bravo 7 Alpha. Good speed 435.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Contact Navy Key West departure.
Contact Navy Key West departure. November 51 Alpha Papa. Navy Key West departure. November 51 Alpha Papa. Good day. Leaving 1,200 feet for 4,000 feet.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Navy Key West departure. Radar contact. Climb and maintain 7,000. Altimeter tree 004.
Climb and maintain 7,000. Altimeter 3004. November 51 Alpha Papa.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Turn left. Heading 035.
Turn left. Heading 035. November 51 Alpha Papa.
Engaging autopilot.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Contact Miami Center 124.7. Have a good one.
Contact Miami Center 124.7. November 51 Alpha Papa. Miami Center, November 51 Alpha Papa. Good day. Crossing 4,600 feet for 7,000.
November 51 Alpha Papa, Miami Center.
Miami Center, November 1980 Hotel. Leaving 10,000 feet. Descending via Kraken 1 arrival, runway 9er.
November 1980 Hotel, Miami Center, radar contact. November 1980 Hotel, contact Navy Key West approach 124.025.
Contact Navy Key West approach, November 1980 Hotel.
Delta 1788, contact Miami Center 132.4. Center on 132.4, Delta 1788. Chaska 812, contact Miami Center 132.4. Center on 132.4, Chaska 812, good day. Cayman 10 tree. Contact Havana Center 120.25. See you.
Contact Havana Center 120.25, Cayman 103. Have a good day.
November 51 Alpha Papa, cleared direct Carnu. Resume own navigation.
Cleared direct Carnu. Resume own navigation, November 51 Alpha Papa. Miami Center, good speed 435, passing 7,000 feet for 10,000 feet.
Good speed 435, Miami Center. Climb maintain 1717,000. Altimeter tree 004.
Climb maintain 1717,000. Altimeter tree 004. Good speed 435.
FedEx 5502 Heavy. Contact Miami Center 132.4. Contact Miami Center 132.4. FedEx 5502 Heavy. Good day. American 1641, contact Havana Center 120.25. Contact Havana Center 120.25, American 1641. JetBlue 114. Contact Miami Center 132.4.
Center on 132.4, JetBlue 114. Have a good day.
November 51 Alpha Papa, expect Ola's Tree, runway 10 right.
Expect Ola's Tree, runway 10 right, November 51 Alpha Papa.
November 51 Alpha Papa, turn right, heading 055. Vectors for Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport.
Turn right, heading 055, November 51 Alpha Papa.
Empire Air 8C7. Contact Havana Center 120.25.
Contact Havana Center 120.25. Empire Air 8C7.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Contact Miami Center 132.4.
Contact Miami Center 132.4, November 51 Alpha Papa. See you.
JetBlue 114. Contact Miami Oceanic 123.775.
Center on 123.775, JetBlue 114. Have a good day.
Miami Center, November 51 Alpha Papa, 7000.
November 51 Alpha Papa, Miami Center, roger. November 1192 Mike, expect sandbar tree with a pamper transition, runway 9 right.
Expect sandbar tree with the pamper transition, runway 9 right, November 1192 Mike.
November 24857, contact Miami Center 132.45. Center on 132.45, November 24857. November 9376 Juliet, contact Miami Oceanic 123.775.
Contact Miami Oceanic 123.775, November 9376 Juliet.
Miami Center, JetBlue 2096, leaving 16,600 feet, descending via Bahia Tree arrival, runway 10 left.
JetBlue 2096, Miami Center, radar contact.
Miami Center, November 348 Alpha X-Ray. Good day, leaving 15,600 for flight level 250.
November 348 Alpha X-Ray, Miami Center, good day, radar contact. Continue climb to flight level 250.
Continue climb to flight level 250, November 348 Alpha X-ray.
Miami Center, American 837, flight level 251.
American 837, Miami Center, good day, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 340.
Climb and maintain flight level 340, American 837.
Miami Center, November 444 Lima Sierra, good day, leaving 1110,000, descending via Duval for arrival, runway 9er. November 444 Lima Sierra, Miami Center, radar contact. American 3192, contact Miami Center 134.75.
Center on 134.75, American 3192. Have a good day.
November 51 Alpha Papa, contact Miami Oceanic 123.775. Take care.
Contact Miami Oceanic 123.775, November 51 Alpha Papa. Have a good one. Miami Oceanic, November 51 Alpha Papa, 7000. November 51 Alpha Papa, Miami Oceanic, copy. American 2899, contact Miami Center 132.4, good day.
Center on 132.4, American 2899.
Mexico 427, contact Miami Center 132.4.
Center on 132.4, Aeromexico 427.
Miami Oceanic, JetBlue 41, through 14,200 for 17,000 feet direct passel.
JetBlue 41, Miami Oceanic, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Climb and maintain flight level 350, JetBlue 41.
American Niner 56. Contact Miami Center 124.7.
Contact Miami Center 124.7, American Niner 56. Good day.
Envoy 4069. Contact Miami Center 132.15.
Contact Miami Center 132.15, Envoy 4069.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Altimeter 3008. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. November 51 Alpha Papa. November 51 Alpha Papa. Contact Miami approach 133.775. Contact Miami approach November 51 Alpha Papa. Miami approach November 51 Alpha Papa. Good day. Leaving 5,700 feet, descending to 5,000 feet with information X-ray.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Miami approach. Good day. Altimeter 3008. Expect a visual approach runway 10 right.
Altimeter 3008. Expect the visual approach runway 10 right. November 51 Alpha Papa.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Minimum approach speed. Vectors for the approach.
Minimum approach speed. November 51 Alpha Papa.
JetBlue 2096. Leave Holland heading 090. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 10 left.
Leave Holland heading 090. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 10 left. JetBlue 2096.
Delta 1271 Heavy, turn left, heading 270. Expect further clearance in about 22 miles.
Turn left, heading 270, Delta 1271 Heavy.
All aircraft be advised, information Yankee now current, altimeter 3008. November 51 Alpha Papa, airport is at your 3 o'clock 6 miles. Report the field in sight.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Field in sight.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Cleared visual approach runway 10 right.
Cleared visual approach 10 right. November 51 Alpha Papa.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Contact Fort Lauderdale Tower 120.2.
Contact Tower 120.2. November 51 Alpha Papa. Have a good day. Fort Lauderdale Tower, November 51 Alpha Papa. Visual runway 10 right. November 51 Alpha Papa. Fort Lauderdale Tower. Wind 070 at 11. Runway 10 right cleared to land. Runway 10 right cleared to land. November 51 Alpha Papa.
Approaching 10 right.
51 Alpha Papa. Exit left at Juliet 8.
Exit left at Juliet 8, November 51 Alpha Papa. November 51 Alpha Papa. Contact ground 121.7. Ground 121.7, November 51 Alpha Papa. Have a good one. November 51 Alpha Papa. Request taxi to allocated ramp.
November 51 Alpha Papa. Taxi to ramp 11 via Juliet.
Taxi to ramp 11 via Juliet, November 51 Alpha Papa.
The requested position is already assigned to another aircraft.
Approaching 10 right.